John Wayne finally won his long-awaited Oscar for True Grit, but a lot of people think his best work came way before that, especially in The Searchers. The 1956 Western, directed by John Ford and based on Alan LeMay's novel, had him playing one of his toughest roles. He was Ethan Edwards, a Civil War veteran tracking down his kidnapped niece, played by Natalie Wood. Over the years, people have called it one of the greatest Westerns ever made. Directors like George Lucas, Martin Scorsese, and Steven Spielberg have all called it a huge influence. Spielberg even has a tradition. Every time he starts a new project, he re-watches The Searchers. He says it helps remind him how to tell a story visually, and Lucas borrowed a lot from The Searchers when he was putting together Star Wars. But Wayne didn't see it that way. When someone asked if The Searchers was Ford's best movie, he didn't even pause. "No, I don't," he said. Two classic westerns were better, Stagecoach and Red River. Wayne had a special attachment to Stagecoach. Released in 1939, it was the movie that put him on the map. It also changed the Western genre, proving it could be more than just cheap shoot-'em-ups. The story followed a group of Stagecoach passengers trying to survive an Apache attack, forcing total strangers to rely on each other. At the box office back in 1939, it made $1.1 million. Adjusted for inflation, that's almost $25 million in today's money. Critics still call it one of the greatest westerns ever made. Roger Ebert put it on his list of great movies, saying it was a masterclass in pacing, storytelling, and character work. Wayne clearly agreed. He later said, "That picture really made me a star." Then there's Red River, directed by Howard Hawks and released in 1948. Wayne played Tom Dunson, a ruthless cattleman leading a brutal cattle drive from Texas to Missouri. It wasn't just a massive Western epic, it was also the movie that finally made John Ford see Wayne as a real actor. Up to that point, Ford still thought of Wayne as a typical cowboy star. But after watching Red River, he supposedly turned to someone and said, "I didn't know the big son of a bitch could act." That was the moment Ford realized Wayne had grown into something more. The film also marked the Hollywood debut of Montgomery Clift. But because Red River sat on the shelf for 2 years, Clift's actual first movie in theaters was The Search. And that's the one that got him an Oscar nomination. Wayne still respected The Searchers. He admitted it deserved more praise than it got. But when people called it his best, he didn't really agree. He thought he'd already done better. And when he won his Oscar for True Grit in 1969, he wasn't surprised. He figured it was just catching up to what he'd already done.